Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring artists you should know about. And today we're heading to New England to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Lexi James. Lexi's a new country pop artist with a voice as vibrant as her fiery red curls. She sings about empowerment, love, heartbreak, and her latest single, Leaving Me Slowly, is out now. We're excited to have Lexi James on the show. First, Lexi, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first, we both had it last week. You had COVID last week. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling much better, thankfully. Wait, you had it too?
Yes, I had it Tuesday through finally Sunday. I started feeling better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How were your symptoms? What did you have?
You know what? It wasn't that bad. I had like a couple of days of chills, and I was really tired, and some like congestion and stuff like that. But other than that, I was just really tired for about 10 days.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was pretty okay.
Well, that's good. And you got to watch The Sopranos.
I did. I'm still watching it. I'm obsessed.
Well, you're young. I guess you didn't catch The Sopranos the first time it came around?
Well, I don't watch. I've never really been into like the whole mafia stuff. I watched some of it, but it hasn't been like my absolute favorite. But you know, my stepdad is like 100% Italian, and it's his favorite show. And so he's always told me, you should watch it. You'll like it. You should watch it. And so when I was sitting there with COVID and didn't have anything to do, I was like, you know what? Now might be the time to get into The Sopranos.
Yeah, it's great. I need to watch it again because I watched it back in the day when it was on. But yeah, it's
so
an awesome show. Well, I was shocked at how long you've been at this, Lexi. I mean, when did you start singing? I mean, you were young.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved to sing, but I started singing and performing out when I was in high school. I think I was about 16 when I did my first real show. And then when I graduated high school, I decided to pursue music. And so I've been at it for a while now.
Yeah. Well, you said your mom played music all the time, but then I saw on one of your Instagram posts, Chris, your bass player, how did he get you over the hump to pursue music?
Well, it's funny. Chris is actually my stepdad. And,
okay.
Yeah. So he was looking for, he's been in bands his entire life, and his band was trying to find a new female vocalist. And so he knew I loved to sing, and he said, hey, do you want to come down and help us practice these songs so we can audition some female vocalists? And I was just like, sure, okay. And they had me come down, they practiced, and then they said that I was better than all the people that they were auditioning. So they just asked me to be in the band, and so that's how it got started.
Nice. Well, that's a good compliment. Well, you're too good, Lexi. We don't like anybody else. You're going to front the band now. You're living in Maine. You grew up in Massachusetts. How did you get to Maine?
My family moved to Maine. I moved to Maine with my parents right after I graduated high school. It was just, we're right on the border. I grew up in Mass, right in that pocket where it's like Maine, Mass, and New Hampshire are all really close together. So spent a lot of time in New Hampshire, spent a lot of time in Maine, going to the beaches and stuff like that. So it was just someplace we always loved, and ended up here right after high school. Yeah,
because how's the scene? Because you play at this Eric's Church, which looks kind of cool. I mean, is there a lot of music in Maine?
There is. There's a lot. You know what? Country has really blown up in New England over the past 10 years. And so there's a good market for it in Boston. There's a ton of places in Maine and New Hampshire. So it's been really cool to watch it become really popular here.
Yeah. Well, and you played a show like a month ago, this Country Girls in the City. This looks kind of cool. This was in Boston?
Yeah, it was really fun. So it was a benefit for this place called Rosie's Place, which was a shelter for women in Boston. But they did it kind of like a Nashville Writers Round. So they had all of these New England-based women who were singer-songwriters come and perform their own songs and tell the stories and everything, which is always one of my favorite things about Nashville is going to a writer's round and hearing the stories behind songs, and it's always so fun. So it was really cool to get to do that up here too.
Yeah, looked like it was a good time. Go check her out, Lexi James. She's at LexiJamesMusic.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Her latest single, Leaving Me Slowly, is out now. Go to YouTube and check her out. She's got a ton of cover songs on there, which we'll talk about. I love it, Lexi, on all your profiles. I mean, you're an attractive lady. You're very outgoing. It says all your profiles say you're bad at dating.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Is this the guys? What, they can't keep up with you? What's going on?
You know what? Talk to anybody who's single today. Dating in today's world is just brutal. And I don't know if it's the social media aspect of it, if it's the dating apps that make it easier for guys to lie and cheat and use people. But I've just had really bad experiences. And I would like to think it's them and not me. I'm going to say that because that sounds better.
Exactly. Not you,
but
Lex.
I've dated some really interesting people.
So how is it now? Are you single?
I am, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I went through a really bad breakup last year, and I dated a little bit after, but then I kind of was like, for the first time in my life, I felt really happy being single. And so I've really decided to let whatever happens happen, because I hate online dating. I hate the dating apps. And so I'm, focused on my music, and I'm actually in school too. So I'm focused on that. And, if something happens, great, but I'm not actively pursuing dating at this point.
Yeah, she's embracing being single, which is good.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
That's a good thing. Lexi James and the Wild Hearts. Is this normal? Is this a side gig? Is this certain things? What is this?
The Wild Heart is actually my band.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's my whole band. So, yeah.
Nice. And you've had them together for quite a while.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think, because we've had some people who have, some people have been with me for longer than others. Kind of some members have kind of rotated out. How music works. You don't ever really play with the same people for forever. Rarely, it's very rare. But this form that we've had right now is maybe a couple of years that all of these guys have been together, which is really a long time for some bands.
Yeah, that's for sure. What was the gig you were playing? It was huge. The place was just packed. You're doing some cover song, but yeah, it was just, I can't remember what the video was, but I mean, it looked very impressive. I was like, holy cow.
Oh, you know what that might have been? So I did this music festival up here in New Hampshire at this brewery, and they did a 2-day festival, and I got to open for Jordan Davis.
Okay.
And then the second day they had Nate Smith, but I opened for Jordan Davis, and there were a few thousand people there, and it was really amazing. It was really cool.
Yeah, no, it looked fun. What's your favorite Starbucks drink right now?
It is the brown sugar shaken espresso. So good. And I always add a couple pumps of white mocha sauce to it, because it just brings out that brown sugar flavor.
Oh, it looks good.
So good.
Oh, that's good. Well, you mentioned on some of your interviews that you stuttered when you were a kid. Are you done with this?
You know what? It's kind of funny. Sometimes I go through periods of time where I stutter more than others. Sometimes I'll do interviews and I'll stutter. Sometimes I'll do it and I don't. It was kind of a product of my anxiety when I was growing up, and it was very, very prominent when I was in middle school and high school. But as I kind of, started dealing with my anxiety and, went to therapy and all this kind of stuff, I noticed that as I became more comfortable with myself, it kind of went away. But, it's still there from time to time. Like, if I drink too much coffee, it makes me stutter more.
She has too many Starbucks runs.
I have too much espresso.
It starts coming out again. But
yes.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it. Anxiety. I mean, you said 2023, you had a lot of depression. I mean, that's the. I mean, it seems like that's the sign of the times right now. But it seems like you're doing better. How are we doing now?
I'm good now. I mean, I it's something I've always really wanted to be transparent about, because I feel like people on social media specifically try to pretend like their lives are perfect. And I think that's a lot of what makes some people have these depressive episodes and get anxiety, because they feel like they're not living a perfect life, and they feel like they have to compare themselves to what's out there when nobody's living a perfect life. And so I like to be transparent and talk about the fact that, yes, I have depression, and I take medicine for it, and I go to therapy, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I want people to know that, they're not alone in whatever they're feeling.
Yeah, go and check her out. LexiJamesMusic.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Go check out her Instagram, because you are very real, Lexi, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
You don't hold back, that's for sure.
No.
I love the one post where you're sitting there like listening to music, and you go, it's tough having ADHD and being a songwriter, because of these thoughts going through your head. And I'm like, I understand that being a radio DJ. I have all these thoughts of all this stuff I'm going to talk about. I hit the microphone and then everything goes blank.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Trying to organize my thoughts on any given day is just, it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah. It's a job in itself.
Right.
Just keeping everything together. Leaving Me Slowly. This is a cool song. You co-wrote this with Steve Vito?
Yes, I did. So I found him, there's this really awesome group in Nashville called NSAI, it's Nashville Songwriters Association, and they've been in Nashville for decades. They fight songwriters' rights, and they kind of started to help songwriters network and connect in Nashville, and so they're really a staple in Nashville. And I've been a member for a long time, and I found him on their website because they have like a member directory, and I listened to some of his songs and I really liked it, and I reached out to him, and we got together and we wrote. He had created this track that he really liked, and we just, started spitballing ideas, and the song wrote itself really easily, actually. And so it was really fun. It was really fun.
Well, I mean, this goes with what you were saying about your break. Was this before or after the breakup?
Oh gosh, this was before.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was foreshadowing or something.
Maybe I had a psychic moment.
Because Leaving Me Slowly, tell people what the song's about, because it's a cool premise with this song.
Yeah, so this song is a breakup song, but it's about being in a relationship with somebody, and it's that moment when you feel like this person is drifting away from you. You feel like they're going to break up with you, but they're not doing it. They're just waiting it out, and you're kind of hoping that they'll just break up with you and get it over with, instead of making you wait and suffer in silence.
Yeah, and you're going to hear it here in a second. It's cool. I love the chorus of the song, Leaving Me Slowly. You're going to hear it here in a sec. You have some pictures of your nephews and nieces. Are you the cool aunt? What do they think of you, Lexi?
Oh yeah, I'm the cool aunt. It's funny. I have three nieces and a nephew, and my nephew and one of my nieces, they have autism, and they teach you so much about what's really important in life, and they teach you how to be patient and kind, and it's a really amazing thing to, at least for me, to become an aunt, because I can't even imagine how much I'm going to love my own kids when I have them someday, because I just love my nieces and my nephews so much. So I'm just I'm very thankful every single day that I have them.
Yeah, and it seems cool. Is all the family around Maine, or everybody around the area? Yeah,
so Maine, one of my sisters is in New Hampshire. My other sister is back in the town I grew up in Mass. My brother's in New Hampshire, cousins in Mass and New Hampshire, so we're all pretty close to each other.
Yeah. Well, go and check her out, Lexi James. She's at LexiJamesMusic.com. Go and follow her. She's on Facebook and Instagram. Leaving Me Slowly is out now. Goals for this year. What do we got planned for 2024?
Oh, man. Lots of shows. which you can find on the website. But, goals, I'm trying to build my social media. We're back in the studio. I have another song I'm already working on, getting out probably in the springtime. Always writing, always recording. So just hustling always.
Yeah, never ends. And you like co-writing.
I do. I love co-writing.
Yeah, which some people like it, some people hate it. Some people do both.
Yeah, I like to, I've written songs on my own, and that's great, but I like, especially when you have a chemistry with somebody, I love, spitballing ideas, because it's, sometimes it's just something that somebody says that sparks an idea in you that you wouldn't have had if you were writing by yourself. So it's always just really cool to me to see how different the songwriting process can be depending on who you're writing with. And it's just always really, really rewarding to me to write with other people.
Yeah. Well, here it is, Leaving Me Slowly. Go check her out, LexiJamesMusic.com. Lexi, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Here she is, Lexi James, KIX 96.5.